Yesterday I uploaded a video talking about Brie Larson, and one of a person came to my video and left a comment but under the name of J Bone, and I'm not sure if they're subscribed to me or not. I never seen them leave a comment before, but they had left a comment asking me to speak on this particular topic right here involving this individual by the name of Anthony Myrie. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. And I can tell by the urgency in the comment that they left that they really wanted me to talk about this story because they asked for my email and everything and wanted me to uh, speak on it, shed some light on it. And, when they sent it to me, I wasn't able to look at it right then and there, but I had an opportunity to actually look at it. And let me tell you right now, something about this entire situation is just very off. It's sitting on very shaky ground. It's more holes in this story than Swiss cheese. It's that bad. But let me give you like a little overview of what's going on. This man's name, of course, like I said, is Anthony Myrie, and you see it's a collage of pictures. In it, you see some with his wife and their daughter. He was only 24 years of age, and he was set to turn 25 next year. He was inside of a correctional facility because he got arrested and he got put in jail on some charges from late last year. And something happened at the facility in which his family was contacted, or his family contacted the facility, and of course they weren't giving a lot of answers past a certain time. And it's stating that his wife and his brother were trying to figure out what was going on and they weren't really telling him anything. And when I'm listening to something like that, or when I read something like that, it reminds me so much of what happened with Sandra Bland, because she was inside of a jail and her family was trying to contact her when she was trying to contact them, and they couldn't get in contact with her. And the next thing you know, the next time they hear from her or hear about her, they find out that she's dead. And that's kind of the same thing that happened here. So eventually the family does find out that he ended up dying inside of the facility. But this is where it gets worse than Sandra Bland, because the family was told that he was transported to a hospital. That's what the family was told. But now stuff has come back from that hospital saying, we don't have a record of an Anthony Myrie being brought to our facility, being brought to our hospital. So now the family is trying to figure out, his wife and his brother and maybe other family members, where in the hell his body is. They don't know where it is. Like that, like that's scary. Like, you're telling them one thing and they're hearing another, and they're right now in panic mode. This would make anybody be scared. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, this is a young black man. He's 24. He was supposed to be sent to a hospital after he quote unquote died. Let's be real here. I think he probably was killed, most likely. And his body never showed up to the hospital. To be honest, they probably never even sent his body to the hospital. That's what I'm believing. And I don't like to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but when stuff like this happen, I can only lead it up to one thing. I will not be surprised if his body ended up on the black market somewhere and his organs are being sold. Let's think about it for a second. I mean, think back to Kendrick Johnson a few years ago, back in 2013, I believe. The young boy down in Georgia who was killed, and they tried to say he committed suicide, but there's no way that can possibly happen. And he got rolled up into a wrestling mat. Do you know how heavy those wrestling mats are? They have to use a machine to roll and unroll those things. They're that heavy. Or it takes a certain amount of manpower in order to do it without a machine. And he was found rolled up in there, and then they found his head stuffed with a newspaper. It's just, I don't believe it for one single solitary second that they don't know where his body is. They know where it's at, but the family unfortunately does not. And like they said, the hospital claims that they don't know either. And I said claim because they could have been in the police department or whoever where he was at is most likely in cahoots with the hospital as well. I don't know, but it's very unfortunate what's going on right now. And I really feel bad for his wife and his brother and all his family members, because they're looking for answers and they're not getting anything. I'm gonna go ahead and read this article coming from the source. It says Anthony Myrie, 24, mysteriously passed away during his time at the NYS Green Correctional Facility. Now it's a mystery. His brother and wife made the announcement on Instagram, desperately seeking answers from the detention center because they called Anthony's family to say that he passed away, but the location of his body is unknown. In the lengthy announcement, it stated that Anthony was on the phone with his wife when he was taken into the box by correctional officers. Now, I'm familiar with that term, the box. That's basically like, I want to say, and I could be wrong. I want to say that's solitary confinement, which means he might have got into it with one of the, maybe another one of the inmates there, and they probably threw him in there, or he may have gotten into it with one of the guards. In the lengthy announcement, it stated that Anthony was on the phone with his wife when he was taken to the box by correctional officers. His wife called the facility to find out why her husband was being placed in the box but didn't get any answers. After about an hour, she received a call saying he was in critical condition, and then an hour after that, she was notified that he passed by another inmate's family. Then, now how about that? She had to find out that her husband is dead from another family member of another inmate. She didn't find out from the guards, from the warden, or any type of personnel that was working there. She had to find out from another inmate's family. Like, that's extremely tacky. I mean, not tacky that the inmate's family member told her that, but tacky because the people who's working at that facility didn't have the balls to tell her that. They are practically just, in my opinion, admitting to guilt right there. They then told her that they had sent his body to the Albany Medical Center. She called them. They have no records of him ever being admitted. So where is his body? Anthony's brother wrote in an Instagram post. Anthony Myrie would have been celebrating his 25th birthday next month, but unfortunately his life was cut short and his family member just want answers. He was arrested in November 2018 for criminal sale of a controlled substance in the third degree. His tentative release date was summer 2024. And see, when they put stuff like that, it's only going to make people, well, outsiders that we really don't care about their opinion, but let the story really go out there. They're going to say, oh, well, he was doing this, he was doing that. Why should we care? And his life didn't matter and all this type of stuff. To them, his life may not have mattered, but to his family, it did. And look at this picture right here. Look at this picture with his wife and his daughter. His daughter is going to have to grow up not really knowing her dad. Like, you can't tell me that they did not kill this man. And they're going to try to say it was a suicide and all types of stuff like that. I don't know what's worse. The fact that he's dead, the fact that the personnel did not notify his family that he's dead, or the fact that the hospital has no record of him ever being admitted. So basically, the facility that he was in lied about him, being sent somewhere. And they said there's no record of him being there. That means that there's, no name. There's no one saying, there's no signature saying who brought him in. Nothing. So his body is out there somewhere, and the family doesn't know where. I'm telling you, it's scary enough if you have to go to prison, but as a black person, it's even more scary because of stuff like this. This is, like I said, this is like Sandra Bland all over again. Because they tried to say she hung herself in her cell and killed herself, which to this day I still don't believe. And now this man his body is just banished into thin air. Like, it's so much wrong with this story, but it's so sad and it's so unfortunate because I know his wife and his family is going through it right now because they don't know where his body is. I think if they know where his body is, they would feel a lot better. I mean, it's sad enough. It's bad enough that he's dead, but to not know where his remains are, that's very weird. And that means that's a whole nother investigation they got to do to try to find it. But I'm telling you, they need to do a thorough investigation of the facility which he was staying at, because technically, if the hospital does not have any records of him being admitted, that means all fingers and eyes need to be honed in on that facility he was staying at, that correctional facility, because they were the last ones to see him alive. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. I'm going to try my best to tack this on as one of the stories I need to stay updated on. If anybody out there finds any updates regarding this story, please send as many updates as possible to me so I can relay them out to my subscribers. And I will talk to you in the next one.